Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Justin Lupica here from BlenderUnlimited.com, and welcome to the How to Rig a Bow and Arrow tutorial. But it's not just any bow and arrow. To make it cool, we added fire to it, because what isn't cooler with fire? So I decided to go with like a medieval theme for it. As you saw in the final result a minute ago, we have a bunch of medieval weapons over here, a bunch of axes and shields and maces and whatever, and a target over here, and wooden floor, and some arrows on the ground. I don't know if you can see or not. And yeah, we're not going to be going into all of this. I just wanted to tell you what you could do, like basically show you what you could do with the result. But as of this, we're just going to be focusing on the rig, as this is a character animation website. So how this rig works, here's the finished rig right here, and as you can see it in action, when I pull back this string bone, everything else tracks with it. And of course, this isn't going, the arrow I actually animated separate, and the arrow actually has a couple different parts to it. It has the fire tip with the fire simulation and all that, which I think is on this layer. Yep. So that, along with this, if I bring this layer in now, you can see it makes the complete arrow. It has the feathers on it and whatnot. But then you have your whole fire simulation. If I can select the domain. And my computer's kind of slow because we're doing a lot of simulation. So anyways, yeah, here's all the settings. We'll go through that later. But let's focus on the rig first. How this works, it has a couple different parts to it. So this is like your main bone right here. If I rotate this, everything else rotates with it. That's, as you can see, these parenting lines, that's what this top bone's parented to, this tracking bone, and same thing for the bottom. This is also parented to it as well. So you can basically think of this as three different parts. This is number one, the top is number two, and this is number three. Okay, we're not going to worry about the bottom because the bottom is literally just a mirror of the top. It's symmetrical. So yeah, I mean, it's really, all I did was duplicate it. Nothing too sciencey about it. How this works is we have our entire bow. We have all these little bones going all the way up the spine, I guess you would call it, of the bow, and they have weight groups along with it, and vertex groups, I should say, along with it, so that where this bone is, this bone controls all the vertices in that area. Well, that didn't do a good example of it, but this controls all the vertices in that area. Same thing with this one. This one controls all the ones in this area right here, and it goes all the way up, a chain all the way up until you reach this one. At the end of the chain, we then have a IK constraint, which I will be explaining what that is. It stands for inverse kinematics, and from there we're going to extrude another bone from here, which this one is then going to be has a constraint of limit distance, as you see over here, to this bone, so that when this bone moves, this one will drag the IK. This one will basically be dragged by this one, which will then basically drag the IK, which will then basically drag this entire chain. It'll make more sense when you see it, trust me. And then this one under here, well, I'm sure there's a reason for it. We'll get into that. And then this right here is your tracking bone, because without this, then your actual bone would be pulling closer to it as it starts to be pulled away. You'll see what I mean when we get into it. But this will basically keep it so that it'll just rotate and be tracked backwards. And it'll basically bend the bone, not actually like bend the entire bow as it should, instead of deforming it weirdly. You know, I'm butchering this explanation, but you'll see what I mean when we get into it. This is a model from Blend Swap, as most of mine are. I just like to animate. It's called Bogan. Bogan.blend when you download it. Sometime today. Bogan.blend. It's a really cool bow. I picked it because it had a good material to it. I didn't have to really do much to it. It looked good. It was a cool looking. I went through a couple other ones. I think there was like this Daedric bow on there as well, and that was just, you know, low poly and not a good material, and it wasn't like, I'd have to do a lot of tweaking to it in order to get it rigging, and yeah, it wasn't really worth it. So I kept searching and I came across this. It actually came with arrows in it as well. So we should get this back under control here. I did actually do some tweaking to the rig, or to the model. I mean, I got rid of this because I have no idea what that is. This, that, maybe something else, I don't remember. But either way, yeah, it's a pretty good starter. So first, in order to get started, we are going to first, I'm going to isolate my actual bow. I'm going to Control I, move everything else to this layer, so I have just my bow to work with here. Then I'm going to Alt R, clear the rotation, clear the transform if I can. Oop. Z on that. Yeah, okay, that looks fine. The only thing that is, whoa, hey, cool, look at that. Never even saw that before. Background images. Turn that bad boy off. We don't need it. What? There we go. Alright. So what I'm going to do here, first I'm going to, you know what? I think it has some things locked. Yep, there it is. Get rid of the camera. We don't need it. I'm going to get rid of this. Fairly certain there's some other things too. You know what? Screw it. Let's just leave these things in. Why not? The string. The string caused a lot of problems for me when going through it. So we may have to create another one. I actually ended up creating a new one because it was, I don't know. I mean, it was kind of difficult because it wasn't like actually part of the model. But I think if we join it and place a few vertices carefully, then I think we can get it working. But for now, let's just, you know, well, let's do it real quick. Okay, so this and this, Control J. Now that's all one. And in order to get it to actually bend, you need a vertice in the middle, which I currently do not see one. So I'm going to add a loop cut, Control R. I can't tell if there it is. Just barely, very faintly. My computer is being ridiculously slow. Right about there, where you think the arrow is going to actually meet up with the string at the point where it's going to bend. So I think it's going to be right about there, because the arrow I can see coming across right there, laying on this little notch. Seeing as this down here is where your hand would go, so your arrow would be right here. Just bring this down just a little. Whoa, that's okay. That's too far. A little more. Oh, okay. Okay, now that is painfully done. I'm going to turn on Simplify, because this is way too harsh for my computer. So let's see if that did any better. Nope, not really, but it'll do. So I'm going to do this. Select Shift S, by the way, is to bring up the shift menu, or snap menu if you didn't know. Cursor to select is what I hit, because then I'll bring it to the origin point of my selected object. So from this point, I can then add an armature, single bone. Drag this up to about there. I'm going to come over here to the armature options and click X-ray, so I can see it at all times. I'm going to bring this down to about there. By the way, you wouldn't want to start right here. You wouldn't want to start all the way down here, because this part of the bow obviously is not going to bend. When you shoot a bow, it's these limbs, these outer limbs, that bend back and then snap the arrow forward. It's not your actual handle. And I've seen a couple tutorials out there who they they basically just rig the entire thing, put a bone all the way from the center all the way up to the tip, and then your handle where you're gripping it moves, like it bends. And I mean, I don't know, it looks kind of like a cheap bow to me then, like it's about to break or something like that, or like a wet piece of wood or something. But yeah, for me, I didn't want to do that. So I guess you could do that if you really wanted. It's the same exact method, but where I'm starting is yeah, we're gonna start up here where I think it should actually start, and we're going to keep extruding. I want to keep them even, but in about the same length. But maybe I want to say maybe 10 going all the way up. Maybe 1 or 2 blender units. Keep in mind, the more you put, you'll get very subtle, more smoother bends, I suppose. Instead of now, because it has more bones to connect to, if that really makes sense, really, but kind of. And two, you'll also have more vertex groups in order to go through and tweak, because I'm going to tell you right now, this is not going to work. I mean, no, I mean, it is going to work, but it's not going to work perfectly at the start. We're going to have to tweak it, and it's a very tedious, process. You have to select your bone, find out the name, bone 0, 1, 2, and then you have to go over to your vertex panel, select your mesh, go over to the vertex panel, then go down and select your vertex group, and then deselect whatever's not in it, so you only get what's in here, and set all the way to 1, and then assign it, so it's just affecting this for each and every bone. So I'm probably going to fast forward that part of the tutorial. I don't think you guys need to really see me do that. Yeah, anyways, we're not going to go all the way to the top, because the string is what's bending the bow. So what's this going to bend back for if it's the string, the tension from the string caused by the arrow bending back, that's causing the bow to bend? That is not physically correct in the real world. So we're going to stop right there, and this bone's actually going to control all of that. So when this bone comes back, this is really going to affect all of that. Now that we have that, I am going to select, tab out to go into my armature, my object mode. So I have my armature selected, then this, control mesh, then your armature, control P, and then armature deform with automatic weights. That will basically just automatically, Blender's algorithm will automatically say, hey, bone 0, 1, 2 is closest to this vertices, and these vertices, parented to it. And then it's going to do that for each individual one going all the way down. That's why it's taking so long. And not responding, yeah. Blender's not going to crash, by the way. It likes to do this. I hope it's not going to crash. My computer isn't the greatest, so when it's trying to do heavy calculations like this, it takes a minute. If it says not responding, and I bet if I click it, yeah, it'll go white, and you may even get a screen saying Blender is not responding. Open it or close it or kill it or whatever, or do you want to wait? Just hit wait, because if you kill it, you're gonna stick it in the middle of its calculate. It actually is doing something right now, and Blender actually is calculating out all the automatic weights. So just give it a minute, and it also doesn't help that I'm recording. So yep, I'll just pause it while I give Blender another minute. And we're back. Alright, true to my word, it did not crash, and I have not actually tested this out yet, so let's go ahead and test it out. Not edit mode, we're going to go to pose mode, which is also control tab if you wanted to jump into that. And you can now tell that everything bends, which actually works fairly nicely. I can almost guarantee these other ones won't do that. Well, hey, maybe they will. I mean, it's working really good so far. On my other one, it was a mess. Like, you can kind of tell a little bit down here, it's starting to deform this bone. but then this bone also has control over those same vertices, so you won't ultimately see that. I'm not too worried about that. What it was doing was it was taking this bone and it would give it like vertices way down here, or it wouldn't get them at all. So when it would bend, it would leave vertices behind and stretch the mesh, and it looked obviously horrid. So I'm just gonna go through here one by one, just comb through, just make sure that it does indeed work. That would be awesome. If that would be awesome. If it does, you can tell a little bit there. It's starting to burn down here. But again, as this one bends, it's not going to be too bad. I'm hoping if we need to, we can always come back at a later time. Yeah, you can tell that this one's starting to affect versus way down here. That one may need tweaked. But ultimately, man, this did so much better than my first try. Yep, you can tell the handle's moving as we come down here. Sure, it's bending the entire thing, and it's also not bending the string either, so we need to add that top string vertex to this bones vertex group, and that should fix that. But yep, you can see where your hand grabs it. Oh, okay, well, we don't have our thing down here yet, which I should have done, but geez, now I have to redo it. Oh well, we're gonna do the front for now. Oh man, I am actually going to just duplicate this real quick. I'm going to Shift D, scale along the 3D cursor, and just scale it down to about right where that origin point would start, and then just 1Z 180. And oh geez, this bone doesn't even, okay, well, that was a waste of time. Don't do that. Anyways, what I'm going to do, what I'm gonna have to do is bring this and just kind of manually, because this bow, whoever modeled it, I don't know, I don't remember the username, but whoever on BlendSwap modeled this, it was not completely symmetrical. Like, obviously they didn't use a mirror modifier. It was modeled by hand. Because when I duplicate the bone and bring it down, as you saw, it did not match up. And as you see, we're also not using nearly the same amount of bones. We still have, 3 left over. So, kind of select those, deselect. Oh, I could even delete that one too. Whoa. And there's that. So now I'm going to join that in the top armature together. Control J. So now it's all one rig. And I'm going to select the mesh, then the armature. Control P with automatic weights, and we'll go through this fun process again, so I will pause it. And there we go. As much fun as that was, I'm glad it's over. So back to business. I'm going to test out this bottom rig, and I'm really hoping and praying that this did not screw up the top set's weights, which now you can tell that this bone, the automatic weights algorithm, is trying to parent all of these vertices to it, and even some up here on the top one, which I can almost guarantee it's parent to this one as well, or in the vertex group. I don't know why I said parent, because there's no bone up there. So that can be easily corrected. That one we're definitely going to have to fix. As for this one, yeah, it's trying to pull. Like, yeah, as you can see, it's bugging out bad. Like, it's not taking this grip, but it's trying to take all of these. Oh man, yep, this is what I had to endure last time. Actually, these ones aren't too bad though. That's kind of impressive. Well, I should probably zoom out and see. Yeah, like, I mean, it's taking the entire string along with it, but that'll be corrected once we add that top vertex group to it, because right now I guarantee you it's parented down here. Yep. But yeah, I mean, there's just a few things we gotta tweak, and it's actually not looking too bad. So for this one, bone 013, I'm going to select the mesh. Come over here, we can get rid of that. N. Go over here to your vertex data. Bone 013 it was. Tab. Make sure everything is deselected. Go over to select, and it will show you, bam. Those are all of the vertices that are in that vertex group. That's insane. That is, man. The vertex group got at least 4 or 5 different bones it's in. But anyways, we are going to just deselect. It's the opposite of what you'd think, because we're going to be, this is what's in the vertex group right now for bone 0.013. We're going to deselect the ones that we actually want in there, which are these. And I don't know what that ball thing is, so I'm going to try to just move it or keep it in. Just like that. And then like that. Yeah. Oh shoot. Make sure to do it in wireframe mode, because as you can see, my vertices from behind are still selected. Bam, just like that. And then from here on out, we can just select all of that. And now that we have all of those, click remove. And now, if we select, we have just this in our vertex group. So now if we bend it, top, oh, I forgot to remove that. Dang it. All right. Bone 013. Huh, why is it doing it? Oh, okay, it's gotta be this other bone. That when this is bending this bone is now trying to drag these. Okay, so it's this dang chain effect that you got with these. It's hard to tell what's going on with what, you know? Because if one pulls one and then that pulls another one, and then you find out that 1 to 3 down the chain is really the one causing the problem. Yeah. Man. Alright, so this one, now that we're on the second chain, I'm going to select, actually I'm going to use the circle tool. Right there. Right there. All of the one from the second and down. Wow, my computer's slow. I recently picked up a new computer. Well, I can tell you this right in a minute. Remove. Okay. I recently picked up a new computer. Well, my wife actually picked it up for me. She was going to surprise me with it. She bought this, it was a used laptop. She apparently found it online. It was like $100. And it's a Mac. And it has all these inspiration. I'm looking at it right now, actually. It has all these inspirational quotes on it. When the odds are 1 in a million, be that one. Take the leap and build your wings on the way. It's covered with these stickers. And she went to fire it up yesterday. She bought it for me so that when I'm working on like one project in Blender, it's running out, I can get them on my other machine and work on a new project, or vice versa, or if she wants to get on a computer, because right now my computer is the one that I use for Blender, the only one we have, which I'm on it quite a bit. So if she wants to get on internet or whatever, I'm kind of taking it up. So I suppose it's good that we both have both now. But the screen started flickering. She went to fire it up last night and started using it, and like the bottom half of the screen started like flick. So I gotta open it up, and if I can't even open it up, it's a Mac. And I don't know the first thing about. I mean, I do, but whatever. I know Windows better. Anyways, it's a problem for someone else, I say. Anyways, select this bone, and once again, we will go through this very tedious process of selecting these vertices and removing them. Yes, it is my favorite part of the day. Come on. There we go. My job actually is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. My job actually, this is not my full-time job, as much as I would love it to be. It is not. And what is my full-time job is I work at Healthcare REIT as a cook, a chef. Oh shoot! You know what? Down 4. That's what happens when I get rambling. I do stupid stuff. Causes more work for myself. Anyways, yeah, I cook there, and it's a big $1 billion. I live in Toledo, Ohio, by the way, and the corporate headquarters, the world headquarters for Healthcare REIT, is in Toledo. Actually, right down the street from me. I live just literally less than 3 minutes away, and it's a great place to work. I love it. But yeah, by far, I get to cook all day. Can you believe it? It's a great place to work. I had to cook all day, and but by far, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The best part of my day is coming through here and adding vertex groups to this entire rig for my literally 22 bones that I have. Which, I mean, yeah, it's not terrible, I guess, but yeah, I would have originally removed these as well, but screw it. What a great attitude. I'm actually just gonna test this out and see what happens with it. Whoa, that's not gonna be rotating. Oh, because it's rotating around the 3D cursor. That's why we're getting real weird stuff. Okay, that one may have to decrease the weight on that. We'll see how that looks. But the rest of these, I'm hoping we can leave as is and get by with it. If you want to take the time, I would strongly recommend it. That is what I did in a result, and I think it turned out great. I went through each individual bone for all. I probably had more bones than this. I probably had, I don't know, 25, maybe more, maybe 30, and whatever was directly in proportion to my bone, like this bone, would have these vertices. That's it. And whatever all the way down. So there were, like how I left it was, there's like, it would cover like all these vertices up here. But yeah, that's what I did. So, but for the sake of this tutorial and for the sake of time, I'm going to hopefully leave it. So that's bone, starting all the way at the top here. I'm gonna hopefully think we can get by without it. I'm just gonna select. I'm going to deselect all of that, all of that, and as you can tell, the string is also highlighted. No idea why the string is highlighted, but that's going to be in a different bone. Oh, which by the way, we should check that at the bottom real quick too. So let me just remove these. And come down all the way here to the bottom of the list. So I know this is our second set here. Do I really gotta... Come on, Blender. What? Bone 22. Go down here. Yep, bone 22. Okay. So select the mesh, go down into tab, select what's in there, and yes, wow, it actually got it right. The string. Well, I just want the bottom half of the string. This part cannot be in there. And as you saw before when we were bending it, the entire string is in there. So, yes, my computer is extremely laggy. Please don't mind. Please bear with me here until I can get a better one. And we're going to just assign those. Control I, just for good measure, and remove them. That will basically ensure that we have just those vertices, and I don't want it to drain the entire, to take the entire bow with it, whenever that, the entire string, I mean, with it. So yeah, that one's done. This one, we're gonna have to go back up to bone 001. Yes, I told you this is very, very tedious. Feel free to skip forward. Nothing much is happening. All I'm doing... Oh, shoot. Okay. Go over here. Bone 001. Select. Is just give that a good... Oh. I don't know what Blender thinks it's doing here. Give that a good shakedown. So, at the time of this recording, which is August 7th, 2015, 4 p.m. about, just got off work and decided to record. So, I'm going to release it this weekend, and apparently SIGGRAPH is this weekend. I was wondering when that was. I saw a lot of Blender people that I follow on Twitter be tweeting about, like Shelty. He's apparently, his flight was delayed. But anyways, yeah, I saw a lot of people post about it. I wanted to go this year. It's kind of a shame that I couldn't. I was really wanting to, but you know, hey, next year I'm determined. But doesn't everybody say that? Doesn't everybody say, hey, next year you can go, next year? There's always next year. But for real, like, I don't know. I'm like super, super jealous because I love this stuff and I would love to go. But I don't know. I mean, it's like almost, it's over $1,000 a ticket. Like, I'm not rich. Like, I'm sure the company I work could pay me to be rich. You know, they can certainly afford. They only have $37 billion, but I'm sure they pay everybody a nice hefty salary. But yeah, they don't, and I'm not rich, so until I can start making more money with some other things I got going on, not likely I can go. I'm trying to convince my wife. My wife does not like 3D. Well, it's not like she doesn't like it. She just, you know, thinks it takes up too much of my time. Too much of my time, I suppose. I don't know. I mean, I think it's really cool because I can look at Pixar movies and DreamWorks movies and say, like, hey, how would you create this? Like, how would you go about creating this? Like, it's all virtual. Like, nothing's real. Like, you know, when you watch a movie, you know you could get a camera and basically, you know, essentially do the same thing. In essence. Because the whole theory is the same, you know. But with CG, you know, it takes a whole other mindset for 3D. Like, even 2D versus 3D, it's different. Whereas, you know, going out there and getting a camera is art and all, and I love it. I do it myself. My city has a film festival, and I have entered it. Out of the 3 years it's been around, they just started 3 years ago. I've been in 2 of them. And it's harder than you look. It's actually really fun. You get 50 hours. 50 hours, and you can make a movie. You go to this place, and last year was at this bar, Sodbuster Bar, I think it was, over in Sylvania, and they walk around with all your registered teams. You have to pay to play, basically, and they walk around and they give you a genre, but you pick it out of a hat just randomly. You reach into a hat or a bag or whatever it was, and you just randomly pick your genre. What was mine? Mine was what? It was motivational speaker. That was mine. Yeah, I know, right? Motivational. Like, how am I supposed to make a movie about a motivational speaker, and one of the actors I was in was like, maybe we dress up as a president, maybe we give a speech to a big crowd, like, you can make that in Blender, right? No, I mean, not in 50 hours I can, especially on my computer, man. Yeah, motivational speaker. Like, how in the world am I going to make a movie on I didn't win, and needless to say. There was one that did win, and I totally agree it should have won. It was a great movie. They did like a silent film type deal. They added other prop. You also have to include a prop and like a character name, along with some other stuff. And yeah, they did great. But yeah. Anyways, back on track here. Okay, so all I've done now is just added a bone named string. I've changed the name to string. And what that basically does is, in pose mode, it just allows me to pull back the string. And this is basically going to be our entire, our one bone that's going to be used to control the entire rig. So when this is pulled back, these bend back as well. And all you would do is just add another bone. It's actually easier to do it along with you adding this before you add the automatic weights. But I forgot to do that, so I had to add it afterwards and then reapply the automatic weights, go through that whole fun process, and then tweak them all again. And I don't want to make you go through watching me that. So I did that, so we have that. So now onto our IK, which actually, if I get rid of that, I don't need that yet. I'm going to take this bad boy, go into edit mode, select the top, and just extrude this bad boy out. We're going to change his name to IK top. And that will basically allow us in pose mode to add the bone constraint inverse kinematics. Target armature bone is the IK top that we just added. And then this dotted line is going to be our chain length, which currently 0 means unlimited. So it's going to be at the bottom of our length. We may have to tweak that later, but we will see. Oh shoot, actually, yep, you'll see right now, it actually is not moving how it's supposed to. So I'm going to hit in edit mode, Alt P, and clear the parent. Go back into pose mode, and you can see that it can now, when I grab this will drag that IK constraint, which that IK constraint is now affecting this entire chain length, like you saw with that dotted line. The entire chain length is what it's affecting, all the way down to the bottom of the bow. And it's looking good. Now, how do we get this IK constraint to move along with the string bone? Because currently, if I move back the string bone, the things don't bend. We could add a limit distance, but I can tell you right now it's going to pull in the wrong direction. I've already tried it. We could add like a track 2, something like that, but that doesn't work as well. There's plenty of workarounds, but I found one where you select this, go to edit mode, select this bad boy, extrude him all the way down to the bottom of your rig, bottom of your chain. W, just switch him real quick. Then take him and take that bad boy again and extrude him. Actually, you know what? We don't need to do that. I will just duplicate him. Take that bad boy and deselect him. Move him out so I can tell the difference between the two. And we are going to add our limit distance. Okay, so our limit distance constraint on this bone is basically exactly what it sounds like. It's going to keep it within the same distance as to the string bone as what we acquire up here. So with this selected, I'm going to target as armature, bone is string. You can tell it automatically sets it for you. And as you can tell, it now moves, except this is also going up and down as well, which is going to throw it off balance. So I am going to add a limit location. I check everything. And for this one, I'm actually going to use local space. It's important so that I can use the y-axis. Like go negative 0.5. This one can go up to like I don't know, 8. And then that way. Oh, that's really far still. Let me look at 2. See what that looks like. Yeah. 3. It looks alright. And then for this, all we need is a track 2 constraint for the armature. And did I actually name this? No, I did not. It's like top limit, let's say. Top limit. And voila. Just like that. Now all that's left is actually getting the rig to follow it. And all you would do just to get the rig to follow is to take this one and parent it to this one. But you have to do it in edit mode. Yes, it's very finicky like that. Just keep offset. Now, bam, just like that. Now when you pull this, bad boy back, the whole thing bends with it. And we just basically flip it, take this one, and this one, Shift D, maybe, no, oh, edit mode, that's why, okay, Shift D, bring them down, line them up right about there, and these two I'm just going to bring down until I reach the bottom of that chain. Right there. And I'm going to just rename these to go to the bottom. This one go bottom, and the track bottom, which actually should be called track, but whatever. We're gonna go bottom track, and all that's left, I believe, is to add our IK constraint, inverse kinematic, armature, and IK bottom. Make sure this is still on there. Okay, good. Now let's give her a try. Let's hope. And she works. Look at that. Now there is one thing that jumps out immediately to me when I pull this back. You'll see this. This is very hideous. I would go through and tweak the vertex bones, maybe give them some of that. Some of the vertices appear inside the vertex group. That way it's not so harsh. So when you pull it back, it's not as noticeable. Because real bows would not do that. But for the sake of this, I'm not gonna go through all that. Come on, go away. I'm not gonna go through all that. But that is the basic bow rig. Alright, so I guess that wraps it up. If you guys liked this tutorial, let me know in the comment section below. I would love to hear what you thought. If you would like to know how I created the fire or any of the other things in that finished scene, if you want me to pull it up real quick for one last look, also leave a comment. I love getting in touch. Let me just reset here. I am on Twitter at Justin Lupica, Lupica. Feel free to tweet me out. I respond. I'm on Facebook, Blender Unlimited. Subscribe to my YouTube channels, as I will have lots more tutorials coming out. But yeah, if you liked it, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and leave a comment. Let me know what you thought. If you want to know anything in here, feel free to ask, and I will tell. So thanks. Bye.